On August 3, 2019, Americans went to bed grieving a white supremacist mass shooting that killed 22 people in El Paso, Texas. The next day, we awoke to the news of another mass shooting in Dayton, Ohio, which left 10 dead. Although the ideological motive for the Dayton shooting would turn out to be muddled, its timing, so quickly on the heels of El Paso, helped boost the global far right anyway. Within hours of the shootings, extremists were celebrating on social media with phrases like, "It's happening," and "The fire rises." These shootings came nearly 2 years after the world was stunned by scenes from the University of Virginia showing scores of white men in polo shirts marching across campus, bearing flaming tiki torches and chanting, "White Lives Matter," and "Jews will not replace us." The following afternoon, the governor of Virginia declared a state of emergency in response to the violence at the Unite the Right rally downtown. Shortly thereafter, a 22-year-old neo-Nazi drove his car into a crowd of counter-protesters, injuring at least 19 people and killing 32-year-old Heather Heyer. All of this came on the heels of an increase in violent hate crimes. Dylan Roof had recently received a death penalty sentence for murdering 9 African-American worshipers in a South Carolina church amid a wave of hate incidents in schools, college campuses, and public places across the country. In short, the events at Charlottesville catapulted the modern far right into the public eye and helped cement a growing realization. White supremacist and far-right movements were unquestionably on the rise in the United States. In the months that followed, a steady stream of hate confirmed that Charlottesville was not an exception. In 2018, the number of hate groups in the United States reached an all-time high, with white nationalist groups alone experiencing a nearly 50% increase. That same year, right-wing extremists killed at least 50 people in the United States, outnumbering all other terrorist and extremist-related deaths. Meanwhile, hate incidents have surged in local communities nationwide, with thousands of incidents of swastikas, nooses, white supremacist flyers, and hate crimes reported across the country, from synagogue shootings in Pittsburgh and Poway, California, to arson attacks on black churches in the South. In spring 2019, a private militia self-deployed to the U.S.-Mexican border and, under no authority from the U.S. government, began illegally holding migrants and turning them over to U.S. immigration authorities. Combined with global developments like the March 2019 right-wing terror attack on 2 mosques in New Zealand, which killed 51 worshippers, these trends have spurred an increase in attention to the far right. Ordinary Americans, along with journalists, policymakers, and scholars alike, have scrambled to answer several key questions. What is driving growth in the contemporary far right? Why do people join far-right movements? How should communities respond when far-right propaganda or violence occurs?